my name is Rayhan, and I'm a Muslim and junior in high school, and I've been really trying to hammer in what I believe in. So I've been listening to conservatives recently, and you've been one of the main educators, so thank you for coming here.
Well, thank you.
So now, I think you go a bit far when you talk about inequality being one of the stupidest things to measure, because Dr. Jordan Peterson talks about the Gini coefficient. So they calculate income inequality in neighborhoods and streets, and it shows that it's an increase in crime when you see your neighbor, earning more than you. So do you have any response to that?
Yes. There's greater income inequality between Bill Gates and his neighbor than there is between anybody living in the inner city, and there's no crime in Bill Gates' neighborhood. So I would suggest that it has more to do with poverty in a neighborhood than it has to do with income inequality in a neighborhood.
Okay. And I had one more question. You talk about institutional racism and how it doesn't really exist, and I don't think you've digged up enough. Have you heard of bank lending discrimination? And it's been well documented.
Yes, okay, so bank lending discrimination, the idea of redlining was widely debunked in the early 2000s with regard to how banks operate. The idea that banks sit around and then they figure out, okay, there's a black guy and he has exactly the same credit score as a white guy, I'm not going to give him a loan. Banks base it on credit scores. If they didn't, they would go out of business. So a lot of this has been wildly exaggerated. Again, if you can show me a bank that actually is redlining, then they will be prosecuted under federal law. That's a violation of the Civil Rights Act in 1964. You can't discriminate even in private businesses on the basis of race.
Yeah, JP Chase just had a settlement for $55 million for discriminating against Hispanics and blacks who had the same score as white people.
Right. Okay. So then they got punished under the law, and that's a good outcome.
Okay.
Again, that would be a case where I say that's a great example, singular case where somebody gets punished. They should be punished, And by the way, even if they weren't punished, let's say they weren't punished. Let's say you took my total libertarian theory. Businesses should be able to do what they want. Then what you would suggest is that these people should have walked across the street to another bank that wasn't redlining them, and then they should have gotten a better loan.
But wouldn't you say JP Chase is an institution?
Well, as an institution, they did something bad, and I think that capitalism makes them go bankrupt.
Sure.
Again, I think discriminating against clients is a very easy way for you to go bankrupt.